Because, I mean, when I hear you play this, it sounds so natural, but that takes time and confidence, doesn't it? That takes some learning of an audience and to be comfortable in your own skin to make it your own.
It takes a lot of hard work, you know. I think practice was something that was just part of my daily life, and it wasn't that my mother ever forced me to do it, but I really enjoyed the practice. And you know, I was doing many hours every day because you have to, just as a dancer does or a gymnast does. You know, it's the same kind of training, you have to keep it up. But it's just, you know, I love it so much, so it was just totally a natural thing for me to do. It's the violin is an extension of me, so that's just how it felt.
And you've done some incredible venues. Firstly, though, with talking to the Japanese media, how does that work? Because do you actually speak Japanese?
No, I can't. I only speak very, very elementary, basic, and rude Japanese.
So how do they communicate with you? Because they don't necessarily speak English, do they?
A lot of the time they do, which is really helpful. But otherwise, I have an interpreter, and I have a really, really great interpreter who's really good. So I know she's, you know, getting my message across in the right way.
I always worry about that, because I think if I go somewhere, they could start changing it just to make me look bad.
That
would make me nervous.
You know, you have to have a big amount of trust with your interpreter, otherwise you have no idea what they're going to be saying.
I mean, you could say it's nice to be here, and she says he's bored to be here.
I know, exactly. But fortunately, I understand enough to know if they're really changing it that much, so I can just have a go at her.
And you're good at body language as well, watching that.
You have to be in Japan. You have to really speak with your body language, so yeah, I've learned to do that.
And they have huge audiences over there. Obviously, there's a lot of them. I mean, one of the audiences, I think, was 65,000 you did. How does that feel?
Well, that was in the Middle East, and that was at a football stadium for a really, really big match. And I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of football, but I found myself getting really, really into it. And I didn't even know who I was supporting, but by the end of the match, I was like screaming at them, and I couldn't believe this new side that came out. But no, the whole energy of playing in front of that many people was just incredible. And you know, it was only 5 minutes, but it felt like 5 seconds, and I came off the pitch and I was like, I want to do it again, I want to do it again. It's the bigger the audience, the more I enjoy it, definitely.
And how do you go with the nerves? Because there's got to be a thrill involved to make it work, but at the same time you've got to keep your nerves in check so it doesn't destroy it. How have you come to terms with that?
Oh, I don't know. I think because I've been doing it for so long, that really helps. But there's always, definitely some element of nerves before you play, but you need that in order to have the edge of your performance. But I think most of the time I'm just really, really excited, and the other people around me are quite nervous. It used to be my mum, you know, she used to be incredibly nervous and shaking, and how can you do this? How can you do this? I said, well, it's good it's me then, not you. So.
And let me ask you this question. Are you luckier than a singer, for example? Because when they wake up in the morning and they go, they've got to make sure it's there, because if it isn't, they've got a problem.
That's
whereas
rude.
Short of you breaking your arm,
oh my God,
this is going to work, isn't it? So how do you think it's more difficult to play an instrument, therefore that it's the same in terms of difficulty to get on stage?
Yeah, well, I'm lucky also because, you know, it's not a piano or a double bass, so I can take it around with me pretty easily. So in that way, I'm lucky. And if I have a cough or I lose my voice, it doesn't matter because I don't, people don't need to hear that and they wouldn't want to. So, I think I'm lucky in that way. But I think it's down to the individual, what they feel comfortable with and what is their instrument, because I can't sing. I wish I could, but for me, the violin is my voice, so... Yeah. As
well as some impressive venues, you've also met some very interesting people and performed with them, for them, and at them. Give us some names and what it was like.
Some names. One that always sticks out is when I performed at the Hollywood Bowl, and that was because I was working with a producer called Carmen Rizzo, and we were opening for Underworld, and we were doing the set with Paul Oakenfold, and he was a character, and he was really, really late for the sound check, so we never really got to do a sound check. And we went backstage, and he said, you know what, I think I want to do the other track as well. So I went up to Carmen, and I was like, well, can I hear the track, because I don't even know what it is? And he said to me, oh my God, all my laptops and everything's on the stage, so I really can't play it to you. And this was, maybe an hour before you were meant to go on. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just wing it, I'll listen, I'll just sit there for a few seconds and then just play whatever comes out my hands. And Dan, my manager, was saying to me, what on earth are you going to do? Because you're playing in front of, 20,000 people. you're at the Hollywood Bowl and this is a really big event. And I was like, nah, yeah, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it.
So are you with the violin like a singer would be when they're pitch perfect, that you just know what to do when, and it's some divine intervention that it comes from somewhere?
Yeah, if I relied on myself, it would probably go wrong. So you just go on automatic and you hope that the spirits above you are going to help and maybe enter your body and just do it for you, because at that point you have no other choice unless you're going to run off the stage, which wouldn't look very good. So you just have to wait and see what happens.
But you know that's extraordinary, don't you? Most performers wouldn't want to look vulnerable on stage. Most performers wouldn't allow that to happen. They'd have just said no.
Yeah, no, I can understand that, but I guess because it wasn't also my music, it was someone else's. So I guess in that way it was a bit easier to just get into a different role. And it's kind of like acting, you know, you play someone else and you think, well, if it goes wrong, I'll blame it on that character.
And your life now then, what is it like? Is it first class travel everywhere? Is it the showbiz hedonistic lifestyle? Is it chauffeur driven cars, or is it flying EasyJet and getting in cabs?
Sometimes. Sometimes you don't have the luxury of travelling in a really comfortable situation, but a lot of the time it is, which is really nice, and you get people come and pick you up. But I remember last year I went to Marrakesh for a performance, and a friend of mine came along because my manager couldn't. We made out she was some part of the team, which was not true at all. And I remember she said to me, you know, I'm really excited because it always seems so glamorous, everything you do. And then she realised when we were waiting backstage to go on set for like maybe 3 or 4 hours, she said, wow, this is really not that glamorous. And I say, yeah, you know, people don't realise that there's a lot of waiting around and a lot of being on your own. So it's nice when you have, you know, other people around you, because it can be quite solitary in some ways, because you're just travelling to different places and there is always a lot of waiting around, which I hate because I'm not patient at all.
I'm exactly like you with that. And also the come down is always difficult for me. I don't know how you deal with 60,000 people 1 minute and then me and a cheese sandwich the next.
I know, it is really hard, because I'm always my happiest when I have a goal and when I've got something I'm working towards. And then when something like the football gig, you know, which was thousands and thousands of people, and then you come home and it's like, oh yeah, what's the next thing to do? It can be quite hard, because when you're a performer, that's what you want to do like every single day. So yeah, it can be a difficult thing, but you know, that's, I guess, the life of a performer. It always will have its ups and downs and, you know, exciting and very dull moments as well.
It's an interesting interview, this, because I want to say to you, good luck with everything and good luck in it. But really, you've had incredible success and you don't need any endorsement from me whatsoever. But this is a new market, isn't it? Albeit a very tiny one, the UK, compared to Japan and what you've done so far. Does this really matter to you?
The UK does definitely matter to me, because it feels more like my home than Japan does, because I've grown up here. So it's something really, really special to me, but also because the music is something different, I hope, and I hope people see it as something unique. It's something that I want to play everywhere in the world, and I just want to get the message out there as much as I possibly can, because you know, music is the best way, I think, of communicating with people universally. So it's something I feel really, really strongly about. So I'm just going to, you know, try and get it out there as much as I possibly can.
All right, let's give your name first. So your name is?
Diana Yukawa.
And your album is?
The Butterfly Effect.
And your website is?
dianayukawa.co.uk.
And that's YUKAWA, isn't it?
Perfect, yes.
Thank you for coming on and talking to us. It's a real thrill. You're gorgeous.
Thank you.
You're delicious. You're talented. And this album really is fun. And it's a lovely album to listen to in the car as well, which is where I do my testing of whether I want you on or not. Because I think if I'm doing a lot of clicking, then you're probably not that interesting.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same
To think
way.
that I'm going to be the destiny between you working in this country or not, it's just incredible, isn't it?
The power you have.
I know. Diana, really lovely to meet you.
Thank
and
you
congratulations
so much.
with this new album. And we'll play a track from it. Which is your favourite?
Magnolia.
Lovely.
Magnolia.